Welcome. My name is David, also known as TheCloudyDave here on YouTube, and this is my wrap-up video of the Introduction to Electronic Cigarette video series. This is video number 6, and in this video I'm basically going to wrap it up and talk about some random different things about electronic cigarettes that you may want to know. Okay. First I want to talk about is money. Everybody goes into vaping saying, is this going to save money? Is this going to cost more than cigarettes, or this is going to be cheaper? I'm going to say for the most part it will be cheaper. If it becomes a hobby for you, as it has for me, it could get expensive. Mods of this sort cost about $100 a piece, or up to $130. There's even mods out there that cost a few hundred. They're made out of wood and they're handcrafted. And some people like to get together what I call Armageddon kits, which they stock up in case of Armageddon, and they're able to vape until the end of time, where they'll buy 20, 40, 50 atomizers, and they'll have stacks of batteries, and they'll have liters and liters of juice hanging around, and some people like that, and then it's going to cost you a lot. But for the most part, I know some people who I've gotten into vaping that all they do is just vape to not smoke, and they keep their costs that low. I would say they spend less than $20 a month once you average it out, just to maintain the vaping. But some people like me, I spend a lot more because I like to try different juices. I like to try different kinds of batteries and voltages. I like to try different kinds of devices. So it can be as cheap or as expensive as you want it to be. So keep that in mind when you get into electronic cigarettes. Another thing I want to talk about is basically there's a lot of stuff out there. I can't possibly introduce you to everything, but I'll try my best. For the most part, I won't cover it in this series of videos, but I have lots of other videos that are up and are going up that will be about different devices, juices, atomizers, cartomizers, drip tips, drip shields, all kinds of different kinds of accessories and things like that in vaping. And you can go ahead and check out those videos as well after you're done with this one. It'll give you a better feel for what other things are. See, right over here I have a mod called the Omega. It's a big battery mod. I call it big battery because compared to the Ego battery, which is nice and small, which is half of this, these batteries are quite bigger. Compare this to an Ego, and already you can see it's wider and longer than this battery. And this uses 18650 battery. I put that on there. This device, I love it. It lasts me a long time. I've been vaping off it for many months. It performs well. I have a dual coil cartomizer. I tell you, this stuff can get pretty complicated. There's a lot of stuff involved, but it can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be. Some people have variable mods. There's electronics built into them. Some people have. There's a mod coming out that has a little micro pump in there. They have all kinds of stuff out there. So please don't just stop here. Go off and go to some of the links and the resources I've put down there for you. Go ahead and look at my subscriptions and look at other reviewers and check out their stuff. There's lots of stuff out there. I don't want you to be restricted and thinking that whatever I review is the only thing that's out there. There's tons of stuff out there. So go out there, do the research. It'll pay off, and it may become a hobby for you. It may become just that regular thing that you keep going just so you don't have to smoke cigarettes anymore. I'm going to vape off this so you can see how something like this performs. You can see I get a lot of vapor out of that. Another thing I want to talk about is basically when you start vaping, your water intake is going to increase. You will get thirsty. This stuff kind of dries out your mouth, especially if you use high PG juices. When I say high PG, I'm talking about anything above 50/50. You're going to start noticing the more PG you have in your juice, the more dry you're going to get. Some people have the same reaction with VG. Either way, vaping does make your mouth dry, kind of like smoking does. So you want to keep a nice bottle of water around. Keep yourself hydrated. Keep your mouth from drying up, because this stuff will get your mouth pretty cottony. It'll get really dry. So keep juice around. Keep water or juice or whatever you like to drink around. Also, you want to keep napkins around. Why? Because this stuff, this juice, sometimes gets a little messy. It gets all over the place, and you'll get juice in your hands. You don't want to rub your eyes with it because it'll irritate your eyes. It'll burn for a little while. Usually won't cause any, for the most part, I'm gonna say it's not gonna cause any permanent damage if you rub your eyes with fingers, but it will burn. It will sting, and it's not pleasurable. So you always want to keep some napkins, and I like to keep a bottle of hand sanitizer so I can go ahead and keep my hands clean, especially when I'm touching other things or other people, come shake my hand. I don't want them to go ahead and rub their eyes. I wonder why it's burning. So I always like to try to keep my hands clean and keep some napkins around so I can clean up if I happen to spill some juice around. You want to keep any kind of nicotine juice away from children or pets, because obviously it has nicotine in it, and nicotine is a poison in high dosages. You don't want a kid picking this up and drinking it or putting it on their face. You definitely don't want your dog or cat to be taking this stuff because certain animals are allergic to this stuff. So and maybe some of the flavorings in there. Another thing you want to notice is that if you're allergic to a particular food, you want to stay away from flavorings that are made of that food. Always beware. If you're allergic to peanut butter, don't go ahead and get a peanut butter juice, because guess what? That juice might actually have peanut oil in it, and you will have an allergic reaction to it. So if you're allergic to the food, you're most likely going to be allergic to the juice, because they use the same flavorings that are probably in those foods. So please beware. Please be careful. I don't want anybody getting sick or getting hurt by using electronic cigarettes. Okay, keep that in mind. Always safely charge your batteries. Make sure you put them in there correctly. And when a battery stops performing, well, throw it out. Get a new one. If your battery ever gets extremely hot, it's probably bad battery. Go ahead and throw it out. Don't take any chances. This is not something you want to play with and get yourself hurt. So keep that in mind. There's tons of accessories. Like I said it before, I have different colored drip tips, as you can see. I have a whole lot of mods here. There's all kinds of different tips and adapters, and there's nice little cases. I have a case like this to carry it around, and I use cases for all kinds of things. I'm going to show you a little bigger case I have here. Bam. Super big case, And some people use like makeup bottles or jewelry boxes. I took this from my girlfriend, and I just keep a whole bunch of juices in there. I actually gave away about 15 juices last night to my older sister. That's why it's a little empty, but I'll be filling that up pretty soon. But basically, all kinds of stuff like that. You want to keep little tools on hand. I got a little pick set. Sometimes I have to take off little pieces of rubber. A nice thing to pick up is a multimeter. In case you want to test voltages or make sure your atomizer is okay. I'll do videos on electrical stuff as well. You'll be able to check those out whenever I put those up. That way you can get little basics into that kind of stuff. And that's basically it. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me or any of the other reviewers you see I'm subscribed to, or any other subscribers you ask. People in the vaping community are very helpful, and at the end of the day, they want to help you vape more and quit smoking. So feel free to ask me any questions in the comments or send me an email at TheCloudyDave@yahoo.com. That's basically it. I'm on Twitter as TheCloudyDave. You can go ahead and add me, follow me, and go ahead and ask me questions there. And if you ask me a question there, other people might see it who are following me. And most of the people following me on Twitter are also vapors, and some of them know a lot more than I do. So feel free to ask any questions. There's no way I can cover all the things there are in vaping in a series of videos, but this is my best attempt to do so. Thank you for watching. I hope you quit cigarettes, or your friend or your family member quit cigarettes. And this is all for you guys. I hope that this was informative enough to help you get started. Always look down below. In all my videos, I'll have different sets of links. And if you email me and ask for places to go, I have a whole email set up that's going to have a list of vendors for big battery mods, juices, and places to go to get all this stuff. It's a long list of stuff. That's why I'm not just going to, if I can fit it under there, I will, but if it can't, just email me. I'll go ahead and send that to you. Again, thank you for watching. Peace.